On the night of the exhibition, Teklemariam Birbirsa, from Maryland's West, 2160. Narrated by Lex Marinos. The exhibition will open at 6 p.m. on November 10 in Newtown. An estimated 150 people were expected to attend the opening night. Among them were Mrs. Sabella and her husband, Mr. Richard, who had been invited to the opening. The gallery is full of paintings and sculptures and adorned with bright colours. Deep, instrumental sounds were heard in the background. The room's light rested on the pictures and extended through the centre, giving it a unique look and illuminating harmony with the music. Cocktails were left from the front door with brochures prepared and placed on a decorative table next to the door. I dressed in traditional Ethiopian attire. Just in time, Mrs. Sabella and her husband Richard appeared, and I looked at the other guests with them. Standing at the entrance, I said, "Welcome." Mrs. Sabella turned around and introduced me to the guests with them. My daughter Jessica and my granddaughter Ada. She introduced me. After picking up a cocktail and talking to them for a while, they began to look around the pictures presented in the gallery. Mistre was one of the paintings on display in the gallery, with her children, Abel and Aida, hanging to the left and right. Underneath the stretched canvas, the note read, "Where is Mistre, the mother of Abel and Aida?" A painting of my friend Adal's was next to them. At the bottom of his a note said, "A true friend in times of trouble." Mistre and Adal are part of my life, and I saw them as different because they were part of my work. Apart from these paintings, others were for sale. Mrs. Sabella, Richard, and Jessica didn't take their eyes off the picture. From a distance, I knew that they were talking about something big. Confused by what she saw, Jessica took the time to look at the images one by one. I wondered about it, but I thought it was inappropriate to ask them what had happened. Mrs. Sabella and Mr. Richard spoke privately, close together. I was intrigued by what I saw. They didn't take the time to look at my other work. Jessica called me from a distance, waving her hand. Surprised and curious, she said, "My parents and I were fascinated by these images. We're amazed to see a picture of our friend Adal, who we knew 30 years ago. We still get on the phone, and we are a family," she said, expressing her joy. Mrs. Sabella approached me and said, "Do you know Adal?" "Yes, Adal is my friend," I said. "So how come you don't know my husband and me? We're very close to Adal." "He never talked to you about us?" she said, laughing. "It's been 29 years since I left Ethiopia. I don't know much. We haven't met since I left. I remember him in my work because I always remember the favor he did for me," I said. "Adal is a perfect man. We have a special love for him," she said, looking to her daughter. My heart was pounding. My mind filled with many questions, and my doubts grew enormously. I know that Mistre gave her newborn baby up for adoption. Although Adal handled the case, I do not know the details. Mrs. Sabella told me that she'd been working at a hospital on February the 12th. Mistre gave birth to her daughter Aida at the same hospital. Now Aida is the one I saw standing in front of me. My heart was about to explode. Jessica walked around the gallery with her daughter to look at my work. When they finished, Jessica brought her Aida over and said, "I want to buy Mistre, Adal, and 2 other pictures." "Those paintings are not for sale. The pictures are for the owners," I said. They bought a bronze statue called Mother Africa and 2 other paintings, and promised to come and take them on closing night. they said goodbye to me. All the guests were very supportive, expressing their delight at what they had seen. A number of my paintings sold that night. The end.